This retro movement has been inspired by a lot of things, like movies, Drive, Tron Legacy, Blade Runner, and that new one coming out, as well as music, Kavinsky, and college, but also video games. And since I care a lot about video games and have played them for an embarrassingly high percentage of my life, that's what I'm gonna be talking about today. But to be fair, there's only really two aesthetic video games that exist. On the left here we have Hotline Miami, and on the other side Far Cry Blood Dragon. There's also some smaller games sprinkled in between, but some of them are small indie cash grabs and others are not that important. To be fair, if you don't have any interest in video games, then this video might not be for you. Unless, you know, you love those retro Outrun graphics, cause there's gonna be a lot of them. Now let's get into my little time machine and go back to when it all started. The year is 2011. Japan has just been hit by an earthquake. Osama bin Laden, Kim Jong-il and Steve Jobs all died. Rebecca Black released the now universally acclaimed national anthem of our favorite day of the week, Friday. But one of the most important things that happened for us retro aesthetic fans was the fact that 2011 was the year the movie Drive was released. Not only is it one of the greatest films of all time, it also pretty much started the Outrun movement. Don't quote me on that. With one of the most banger synthwave soundtracks of all time and an aesthetic that made every Outrun fan wet their pants, it would inspire artists for years to come. Among the most important artists were two Swedish guys sitting in their basement working on their game. They were Jonathan Cactus Söderström and Dennis Vedin of Denathan Games. The game turned out to be Hotline Miami, a 16-bit rendition of a Bloody Miami in 1989. A game where reaction, quick thinking and improvisation are the only skills you need. This game is hard as nails and it's literally the Dark Souls of Outrun. Am I right? And for the record, I don't like hard games. Right now I'm trying to finish Bloodborne after giving up on 3 separate playthroughs, and I was almost enjoying it for a bit, but then I got to this place where people turn into snakes and I'm like, what the frick, we have a snake infestation now? Mom, come get the snake repellent! Anyways, my point is, I generally do not like hard games, but I do like Hotline Miami. No matter how many times you failed on a level, it's so easy and fast to just hit that restart button and get right back into it again. It's only a matter of seconds before you're back where you left off. And then there's the awesome visuals and the soundtrack. Pulsating rhythms that make you feel like committing violent crimes and snort a line of coke. Beats that are expertly crafted by artists like M.O.O.N, Skell and Jasper, Byrne, among others. Which then is paired with these dope retro visuals that pulls you right in. The colored text, the drive through Miami after missions, the static VHS filters and the character icons. A great game all in all, and a little fun fact, Drive director Niklas Winding Refn also gets a special thanks in the game's credits. Then, half a year later, in spring 2013, we had Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, which along with its awesome commercials and trailers made every Outrun fanboy feel a little tingle in their pants. Game, which is a DLC for Far Cry 3, was more inspired by the old 80s action movies like Robocop, Terminator, Die Hard and Aliens. The game went all out with the 80s aesthetic. VHS filters, bright neon colors, lasers, cyborgs and cinematics that look straight out of an old action cartoon. With some of the most campy dialogue ever put on screen.
Part man, part machine, but all Cyber Commando.
This was a surefire hit to win gamers' hearts. And it did, getting great reviews and winning a handful of awards. Among them, Best DLC of 2013 by Spike's VGX Awards. Oh, you haven't heard of Spike VGX Awards? Well, let me tell you, I still have PTSD from that car wreck of an award show. Let's just reminisce on some of the highlights.
Said before, or said since, never mind, I'm not gonna even try it. Anyway, just keep going, Jeff.
Keep
go.
going. All right, well, let's move on.
Now you voted for it, and due to our, never mind. Back to you, Joel. Yeah!
Potatoes!
Holy crap. Welcome to hour 3 of VGX. It's hard to believe that just 4 short hours ago, my wife had to awaken me from a booze and pills-induced haze to remind me that I thought it was an awesome idea to host a live nerd thing.
This is fucking horrible.
This is great.
The visual style of this game was extremely refreshing, not only in the game itself, but also the title screen and commercials and trailers.
Welcome to the future. The year is 2007.
While predominantly consisting of what turned out to be Outrun visuals, it also flirts with Vaporwave with parts of its design. It's under my impression that this game really helped shape some of the visuals that people are still creating to this day, and that can't be understated. The game is basically Far Cry 3 with a reskin and a brand new story, and that might sound like a bad sell, but this game is actually really good and really fucking funny.
Doc, I made it, but Benji didn't.
I'm sorry, Rex. He was a good man.
No, Doc. He was a real American hero.
Okay, now that we have established the 2 most important games, let's talk about the smaller ones that kind of fit in the middle here. Trials of the Blood Dragon. The game is the result of impregnating a blood dragon with a motorbike, because you see, blood dragons are from Far Cry Blood Dragon and motorbikes are from Trials, you know, so it kind of makes sense to like have this visual The game loosely continues the story of Far Cry Blood Dragon, and the plot is even more ridiculous this time, a bit too much even if you ask me. Some of the jokes fall flat, others had me laughing hard. I blame a lot of that on the script, but also there's the fact that these 2 main characters are the most unlikable in the history of gaming.
It down just a little, Slay. Some of us are studying for our next mission.
Some of us are studying for our next mission. Whatever you say, Mom.
I'm not your mom, I'm your sister.
I'm assuming they tried to purposely make the voice acting bad for these 2 characters as some sort of joke, but it does not work at all. And if it did work, you'd get tired of it after the first 10 minutes. Luckily, the character of General Ryback is actually pretty funny from time to time when he has good material.
I'm sorry, but you can't smoke in here.
What are you, some kind of communist? Get lost.
It seems like they had a good time making this game, maybe even too much of a good time. The game pays homage to Hotline Miami, Drive, as well as some 80s properties like Indiana Jones and Rambo. But it does feel like it's a bit all over the place and maybe could have been reduced just a bit in terms of scope and visuals. Some of the gameplay elements feel unfair or annoying, like the grappling hook and the RC car. Or, you know, maybe I just suck, because you're obviously not supposed to be stuck on this part for like half an hour. God damn. And this RC car thing? How does it control? The gas button is supposed to flip from R2 to L2 if the car flips, but it only does that like half of the time. So I'm constantly guessing if this button is forward or reverse, and somehow I always get it wrong. This game does some wrong and some right. I think I would only recommend it if you really like Far Cry Blood Dragon or you really love mediocre Trials tracks. However, the aesthetics are pretty nice and probably the best thing about the game. Then we have Outdrive, which is more of an Outrun cloud chaser and not really its own game. It's a glorified screensaver, and that's about it. I downloaded this game only for this video, since I've seen it mentioned on Reddit and it actually looks pretty cool. While I had read that it wasn't much of a game, I still paid $2.50 for it, so I figured that's pretty cheap, I'll probably get my money's worth. Well, not really. I mean, the gameplay I'm getting is pretty good as background footage, I guess, but that's pretty much all the value I could get out of the game. If you are not bored after 1 minute of playing this game, you are either disabilitated or delusional. Well, I was delusional and thought to myself, something's gonna happen. Something's gotta happen soon. It can't just be me driving on a road and like nothing happens. And then, out of nowhere, after playing for almost 10 minutes, a helicopter comes out of the air and starts shooting at you. I was ecstatic. Something happened after all. Well, the helicopter takes a few shots at you, it misses and it hits the ground instead, and then you have to dodge the debris that comes out. Then repeat that 3 times and the helicopter explodes, mission accomplished. Alright, I guess that's something. I did play for another 10 minutes to get to this city area that looked kinda neat, The road also splits into 3 different driveways here, so you have some choice, you know. Where do I go? It's so exciting, you know, should I go left, should I go right? Who knows? This is exciting gameplay. To be fair, there was this one area in which I could drive off the road for a few seconds. That was kinda cool, but I think that was a glitch. But yeah, don't buy this game unless you really want to look at the scenery for some kind of reason, or you somehow find this type of game meditating and can kinda use it that way. I'll also mention GTA Vice City here. While it's a bit earlier than most of the games I've talked about, it has also been a huge influence for the genre. You have this weapon selection thing that pops up in a lot of vaporwave art. Combine that with the fonts and the general art, and you can see a strong connection to the aesthetics that we're seeing today. I'll admit, shamefully, that I've never actually played this game, but you know, I'm 25 years old. I can't just spend all my time playing video games anymore. I'm not sure if there ever was a point to this video. You know, I just really like to talk about video games and the vaporwave aesthetic while trying to sound smart. If you haven't tried these games, I really recommend you to try them out. Except Outdrive, you really can skip that game if you want. But I guess I'll try and end my video with this quote by Barack Obama. Don't underestimate the power of video games. Thank you, and stay safe.